In recent weeks, dozens of migrants have landed on this Spanish beach, finally setting foot on European soil. Spain has now overtaken both Italy and Greece to become the top destination for migrants looking to enter the European Union. Are we now standing at the new frontier of Europe's migrant crisis?
Trouble has broken out at the border of a Spanish enclave in Morocco.
Clandestine crossings across the Strait of Gibraltar
turned away from ports in Malta and Italy earlier this week before Spain finally accepted it.
Spain has now become the most used migrant route into Europe. The migrants used to congregate around this particular part of Africa down here and walk up through Libya and enter the EU via either Italy or Greece, but those routes are now largely closed. And so what's happening is the migrants are travelling through these countries up through Morocco and into Spain, therefore entering the European Union. It's that bit of the trip that we're going to be looking at. The next day we tried to find some migrant camps near Ceuta and along the Moroccan coast. We've been told that up to 50,000 migrants were hiding out in these hills. We're about to head down deep into the forest to see if we can find any evidence of migrant camps. The Moroccan police actually warned us when we were going into the forest today not to film and to watch out because apparently the migrants have battery acid, so this could get interesting, I suppose. It's very clear that this certainly used to be a migrant camp. There's a lot of evidence of clothing and there's a used toilet up there, for example, and yeah, it looks like they've been trying to cook in various places as well. Bits of litter, bottles, shoes as well. It looks to me as though maybe not even that long ago there was quite a sizable sized migrant camp here. It took us just 20 minutes of searching to find evidence that migrants have been hiding here. Everywhere we looked there were remnants of human activity, and it's clear that thousands of migrants have been living in this vast area of woodland. For a lot of the migrants that were based at the camps that we've just seen, the next step is to try to cross the border into Europe at Ceuta, so that's where we're heading now. Ceuta is one of two Spanish enclaves in Morocco, and for years it has been used by migrants to gain access to Europe. Migrants know that if they manage to set foot on this strip of Spanish soil in Africa, they will have achieved their goal and have entered the European Union. This is Spain and that is Morocco. It's quite literally one of the most heavily fortified borders in the world and it's Europe's gateway to Africa, but recently it's become one of the most contentious and dangerous strips of land in the European Union. We spoke to representatives from a new Spanish political party called Vox. They're opposed to mass migration and are fearful of the direction Spain is heading due to the new government's approach to the migrant crisis. Two locals from Vox showed us around Ceuta and told us how the migrants attempt to storm the border.
With big scissors and use many material for to harsh corrosive liquids, use bags with excrement inside for to throw to the police. Use flamethrowers.
Flamethrowers?
Yes, homemade flamethrowers. The police have directly ordered for government. Please don't use the violence. If anyone jump, no problem. You only try to catch, and it's good. Okay, don't use the violence. But if you are receiving directly attack. If anyone is throwing you. Calviva acids, using scissors, using knife, trying to use little excrement bags. You need to minimum you defense your life, your own life.
Sometimes you can see the migrants crossing the sea and arrive to the beach. Normally, these places are with police, okay. So because of this, is not the more common place, yeah. But sometimes happen.
They were under no illusion as to the reasons behind the new Spanish migrant crisis.
Yes, because we have a new government with Pedro Sánchez. For example, we look like they say come here to the boat, to the ship Aquarius with all the migrants of Libya. All the migrants that tried to go to Europe, crossing the sea to Italy. Now in Italy they have Salvini. They have closed the door to the migrants, to the illegal immigration, and all these migrants now try to cross the sea and go to Spain.
Who do you blame? Do you blame the Spanish government or the European Union?
Both. The European Union have a big responsibility because our borders are the European borders. And Pedro Sánchez have the responsibility to go to Brussels and to be a leader of Spain, not a toy.
Everywhere you look, driving around Ceuta, there were hundreds of young African men walking around the city. We wanted to catch up with one of them to find out why they had undertaken such a dangerous journey and what they planned to do now they'd finally made it into Europe. Whereabouts were you born?
Guinea-Conakry. Yeah.
And was in your home country, in Guinea, was everything very bad or?
No, Guinea-Conakry. But we want change my life. That make I am ready for that, for change my life.
Did you manage to get through the border, the fence? Did you manage to get through it?
Yes, we passed the day 26 January.
Yeah.
We enter inside here.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Was it difficult, hard work to get through the fence?
Yeah, you know, it's very difficult, my brother.
Is that where you cut your?
Yes, this my finger is broke on the grillage. You understand?
Yeah.
This all for change this life.
You're gonna stay. You want to stay in Spain. You don't want to go to France or Germany, England.
I want to stay different inside here, Spain here, back. Yes.
As we left Ceuta, I couldn't help but noticing the astonishing lack of women and children among the migrant groups. These were all young men, and the majority of those we spoke to were very honest about the fact that they came to Europe to better their economic circumstances, not flee war. The fact is, they're going to keep coming as long as they know there is a weak border and little to no risk of being deported. The second way migrants make it into Europe is by boat. Usually, under the cover of darkness, migrants will attempt a short journey across the Strait of Gibraltar. So we visited the closest place to Spain from the Moroccan coast at night to see what the migrants were up against. But within minutes, police had spotted us, even in the pitch black. This is Bedludeck Beach. The time is about 10 to 11 at night. This is quite literally the end of the road for a lot of the African migrants trying to make it into Europe. They've got all the way through Africa, they've got all the way through Morocco, and what they do by cover of darkness is to get into boats like the one right here and travel roughly the 12 kilometres just across that strip of water and touch down on Spanish territory, trying to evade the police all the way, of which there are literally dozens. It's eerie to think that this very evening there are probably hundreds of African migrants trying to make this exact journey. Boats carrying African migrants now regularly come ashore at this Spanish beach in Zahora, but we know that's a very difficult task, not just because of the rough seas, but because of the strong Moroccan military presence on the other side of the water. A member of Spain's Guardia Civil, the military wing of their police force, has agreed to talk to us. He knew we were here and he reached out. He says he's got some shocking revelations about how these migrants are getting into Spain and the fact that the government is doing precious little to stop them. So as you can see, I'm here at a port in Algeciras. Now there's one reason why I am here. As you can see, there is a boat just there that helps to take migrants out of the shore and onto land in Spain, mainland Spain. Well, we've been told by a couple of people that actually human traffickers on the beach in Morocco are sending their coordinates to this boat here. That boat is then just going to Morocco, picking them up and bringing them back. I've actually managed to secure an interview with a serving police officer here in Spain who has a story to tell apparently about what's going on. So we're going to go and meet them now and see what they have to say.
They aren't take the people in the middle of the sea. They are going to Moroccan waters because the migrants take their phones and put the coordinates to the people of Tarifa Tráfico. Then Tarifa Tráfico calls to the people of Salvamento Marítimo, and they're going over there to the Moroccan cities.
And is the government here in Spain not doing much to stop this?
Nothing. They know in the last winter, the people of Frontex knows that this summer it will be a very bad summer with migrants, and they do anything. It's a bad future, maybe, for us and for them, because we can't help them, because there are a lot of people there. We have a lot of problems here. The last crisis in Spain left us very bad, and we have a lot of problems for us and for them. Spanish people are very kind. We know we have to help the people, but we can't, because the crisis left us very, very bad. When the migrants come here in this boat, for example, Luz de Mar, Red Cross built a little camp to assist the two migrant people.
Yeah.
They give them clothes, water, some food.
After the shocking revelation from the Spanish police that the government may actually be working with human traffickers, we wanted to know what Spain should do next. So we spoke to another Vox representative, the Vice Secretary of the Territorial Implementation, Salud Anguita.
Pues sí, la verdad es que sí.
We're concerned about that. We're aware of our difficult situation at the moment, and in Vox we're not in favor of total. We're not against absolutely about immigration. What we are in favor is a regulated and controlled level of immigration. We have to decide who is going to come in and who is not going to come in, depending of their levels and their capacity of integration in this country, with our habits, with our culture, with our principles, and with our style of life. They have to respect that if they want to come in. And secondly, the level of immigration will be according to the necessities of the country.
It's clear that Spain is the new frontier of the EU's migrant crisis, but what's also clear is that most of those coming over are young African men looking to better their economic circumstances. And what's concerning is that the Spanish government and NGOs seem complicit in the mass transportation of people from Africa into the European Union. There are rules in place for refugees and there are rules in place for normal economic migrants, but what's happening here looks as though it's breaking those rules. I'm here at a migrant camp in rural Morocco, tracing the route that African migrants take to get into Europe. This is where your donations go, so please click the link below and give generously. Westminster wants to get out of the bubble and keep giving you the stories that really matter to you, not what the mainstream media tells you should matter.